Hello, Ray Phoenix here. Welcome to Let's Play LEGO Star Wars: The Video Game, GBA Part 7. We're going to be rescuing some clone troopers. These disposable people are supposed to risk their lives, sacrifice their lives to protect the Jedi and the citizens of the Republic, but we're still going to be saving them. Guess Yoda maybe formed a bond with them maybe over the 3 years Clone Wars has been going on, so he thinks that they're worth more than just simple clones, so we need to go and save them when they get captured by the Separatists. And why don't the Separatists just kill them right there on the spot? I don't know, the Separatists aren't very rational people. No one in this game is really truly rational. Maybe they want information from them or something like that. Thinking they could give information on the Republic or military battle strategies. This whole level feels like just one large open battlefield. It almost feels like an isometric Lego version of Star Wars Battlefront 2 almost. It's pretty much all we do in this level is just roam around the map and kill battle droids and try to rescue clones and solve some puzzles every now and then. Chewbacca's in this game. You can tell he didn't have his signature bowcaster yet. He's just using a blue blaster. Well, blaster fires out blue shots. I don't really know where blue shots rank among other shots in this game, because I know the green colored shots supposedly are more powerful than red colored shots, but I don't know, maybe it's something to do with like the colors on the electromagnetic spectrum, since the colors like green and blue have more energy than red, so I guess it kind of makes sense in a way, but I don't think people who wrote Star Wars really thought of things like that. But I'll just throw these cool colors in and make it look cool, and yeah, that's all everyone's ever going to care about. Chewbacca's not really that great in this level. All he can really do is just shoot at those blue circle things in the walls and something that can sometimes reveal extra stuff, like extra studs and stuff, and that's about it. There isn't really much of a point in playing with him. He's kind of useless, and this game isn't two-player at all either, so it's not like you'd have like a second player play with you or something like that. This game doesn't support two-player. I know a two-player in the Game Boy Advance is possible. People do have the link cables, so you can like link a second Game Boy Advance to your other Game Boy Advance, but I don't think this game supports that or makes any use of that. There's still 2 more clones left for us to save, and Yoda doesn't have that chair he could ride in, that flying chair he could fit in the console version. It only exists in the console versions of LEGO Star Wars: The Video Game. It's one of the few things from LEGO Star Wars: The Video Game that's completely absent in LEGO Star Wars: The Complete Saga. Just put those gold coins there, those gold studs there on purpose just to mess with us. Be like, hey look, you can't get this, that's kind of what they're doing here. And Yoda's not considered a high jump character. Probably need Jar Jar or something like that to jump up there and find it or collect those gold studs. But there's tons of other studs in this level too, so they're not very useful or very meaningful. Oh, look at that, a full health refill from making those flowers fly up. It almost feels somewhat too like you're playing a strategy game almost. It's almost like you just sit back and just walk around, and occasionally it's like a real-time strategy game though. There are some people that play like Star Wars Empire at War, I remember, wanted like a Clone Wars era version of that game. I never actually played Empire at War before, but I remember watching Super Vader Man's Let's Play on that game so many years ago. And watching like him play through, and you play the Rebels or the Empire, and it's like in the early days of the Galactic Civil War, and there's like, you can use acclamators. I remember the acclamators, those precursors to the Star Destroyers they used during the Clone Wars. Like, how convenient. They put the last 2 clones in danger right next to each other. So all you do now is just use the Force. I bet the people at Amaze are probably just getting lazy, thinking, where can we hide them? Just throw them there and call it a day. There we go, we rescued them. Now they're going to use their blasters, which just shoot red shots, not blue shots, which you're supposed to have, because Chewbacca has the blue shotgun, and they're going to use those panels that look like they should be activated by an astromech droid, and somehow clones could activate them all of a sudden. I know, are clones astromech droids? Do they have the abilities that astromech droids have? And they're just trying to train them to become more handy. So maybe they could serve a purpose when the war is over. Maybe they want to think, oh look, when this war is over, these clones will still have a purpose. They could still do things for us, like do tasks for us and stuff. But of course, no one really knows the true intention of the clones are at this point. All we're doing is being Yoda. I remember Mr. Plinkett was asking, like, who would be the George Washington of this Clone Wars? Would it be Yoda? Yoda sort of being like a main warrior fighting a war? Or we're gonna be like, commanding all these troops to go into the battlefield and destroy these Confederates, this Confederacy that's been attacking the Republic for the last 3 years, and finally put an end to them by destroying every single one of them that remains. I don't even think there are any separatist leaders on this planet. The only reason why we came here really was to secure it for the Wookiees or something like that. Apparently Wookiees are very valuable to the Republic. What about the droid attack on the Wookiees? Ki-Adi-Mundi Ki-Adi-Mundi should be the one doing this, and Ki-Adi-Mundi really cared a lot about the Wookiees. If they sent him rather than Yoda, Yoda would be in Coruscant right now, and he'd probably be, I don't know what he'd be doing right now, probably be organizing a plan of some kind to throw the Chancellor out of office, which is also ignored by this game too. The whole thing about them fighting Chancellor Palpatine or whoever it is, they're going to be fighting against, that doesn't happen in this version of the game either. It'd be crazy if it did happen in this version of the game though. Some significant scene from the movie that was most notably left out of the console version of this game. I mean, it wouldn't be a first if they did put that in there. I mean, like, Anakin finding his mom wasn't in the console version, but it's in this version. Somehow I have to think, we have to connect those back to each other to undo a force field or open up some kind of door so we could get, yeah, see, it's going to open up that door over there so we could get through over there. I think there's another force field somewhere in this level. I like to put force fields. Yeah, force fields are awesome on Kashyyyk. I remember we first saw Kashyyyk in the Star Wars Holiday Special. That one special George Lucas says doesn't exist, but it clearly does, where we saw Chewbacca's homeworld, and that was a question that was brought up in that movie, The Fanboys, and I thought it was going to be an unfair question, because that movie's set in 1998, before any of the prequels are made, and these fanboys are trying to go to the Skywalker Ranch to watch Star Wars Episode 1 in 1998. I wish I could have thought of that. Well, I didn't really know anything about Star Wars back then, because I was only 1 year old back then, so I didn't really know anything at all about Star Wars in 1998. Just being more power, I still think it's quite amazing that they put all these cool power-ups. I guess that's why they call the studio Maze, because they like to amaze you with all the cool power-ups that you could, all these power-ups that you could collect, like the invincibility one and stuff that's not present in the other versions. Chewbacca pretty much served its purpose there now, so all we're probably going to be doing now is just playing as Yoda, living La Vida Yoda. Yeah, his skin's like Mountain Soda, because, well, that makes me want to crave Mountain Dew, even though I haven't had Mountain Dew in years. I think Yoda used to maybe appear in Mountain Dew commercials back in around 2005, around the time this movie came out. I know he was in a Pepsi commercial once, a commercial for Diet Pepsi. Because Episode 3 really did have a huge marketing campaign. I mean, it may not have been as big as Episode 1's marketing campaign, but it was bigger than Episode 2's marketing campaign. Probably because they figured out, oh, it's the last Star Wars movie in the Star Wars saga, and George Lucas doesn't have any plans for any more Star Wars movies. There may never be another Star Wars movie again, so we might as well savor this moment and, make the most out of it. Because Star Wars really is all about the presents and the toys and the gifts and the merchandise and stuff that comes out of it. That's the real reason why George Lucas made these movies, and this game is no exception. This game is part of that merchandise. So if George Lucas was never bent on making the more Star Wars movies that he made, this Let's Play I'm doing right now might very well not exist. And then what else would I have to talk about? What else would I be doing? What would I be doing right now then? Doing my Let's Play of the Japanese version of Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal as the People Monkey? Oh, I just gave away my ideas for my next Let's Play. Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to be doing my next Let's Play on. Most of my Let's Plays now are focused on like obscure games or odd variants of games or variants of games that people don't really know about. Kind of like this. A lot of people didn't seem to know this was a real game, but it is. This LEGO Star Wars for the video game for the Game Boy Advance. This wasn't the only LEGO game I had on the Game Boy Advance back in the day. I also had LEGO Island Extreme Stunts on Game Boy Advance too. It's very primitive from its home console counterpart, but it's pretty much mostly just a collection of mini games, pretty much, where you like drive cars, or I think I made a video about that a long time ago. That was a brief, the Game Boy Advance one wasn't actually that bad, actually. It was pretty fun for a Game Boy Advance game, of course. That was the only game I'd play. I probably wouldn't be complaining as much. Just combine with a few other Game Boy Advance favorites, and yeah, one of the only Mario games I had at the time was the original Super Mario Advance, which is one of the first games I got my Game Boy Advance back in 2002 when I first acquired one of those. And I didn't really like the Super Mario Bros. 2, the Doki Doki Panic that was on it. I actually preferred playing it just for Mario Bros. I love that classic 1983 arcade Mario Bros. I actually kind of like it more than Super Mario Bros. I actually made a Star Wars game that was kind of like that, where you just have to, it's like an endurance game where you play as a Jedi, you have to go and kill battle droids and see how long you can live for. There actually is something like that in the PSP version of Star Wars The Force Unleashed, the Order 66 mode. And this level is technically not in the home console version either. I don't think there was a level in the home console version where you just downright play as Yoda and you have to downright go against the Separatists. And this level doesn't really advance the plot at all. All it really does is it's just an excuse to play as Yoda and kill more droids. It's just something you would have done a lot during the Clone Wars. I don't know, maybe they're compensating for the fact that they didn't that they didn't put a Geonosian battle arena level in the previous episode. We didn't get to see the clones at all in the Star Wars episode 2. How do you have Attack of the Clones without clones? How do you have Revenge of the Sith without any Sith in it? Well, actually, we already did see some Sith, so I guess it's not entirely misleading then. We don't get to see Edward Palpatine as much in this game. We only got to see Edward Palpatine once, I think, or so in this entire game. We had to rescue him. We're not going to see him much again for this. Yeah, such a significant character in the movie, and yet he's almost absent in this game. I wonder if they'll ever make any other movie-based games that are like that. Like imagine making a Shrek game where Lord Farquaad Noma pretty much never makes an appearance. We're making a Batman 1989 video game where the Joker isn't even in. We're making a Spider-Man 2 game where Doc Ock is completely absent. Spider-Man 2 had some pretty good games. I really liked that Spider-Man 2 game on the PS2. That was pretty fun. And look at this. Those droidicas, their shields are pretty much useless. I just bashed his shield a bunch of times and he's dead. He didn't even do anything. It's not like in the console one where they have a shield and you can destroy their shield and they're still alive for a bit. Nah, as soon as their shield's dead, they just give up on life. There's no way I'm getting out of this. Might as well get myself killed right now. I knew better to do that job than Yoda himself. The Master Yoda with his lime green lightsaber. Imagine his lightsaber would be lime flavored. If you could lick a lightsaber beam, it would taste like limes, probably, of Yoda. Yoda, Yoda. I can imagine that song. That'd be a perfect song to play right about now, Weird Al's Yoda. While Yoda's just flailing his lightsaber around and going against the Confederacy. I mean, Yoda actually isn't as bad in this game as he was in the complete saga. Because at least, or even Lego Star Wars 2, because in this game he actually walks at a pretty, it's being slow compared to a lot of other characters, but it's not painfully slow. His attack patterns aren't that bad. The only problem is he kind of moves by a significant amount forwards when he swings his lightsaber, and sometimes that could lead to falling off the edge, sometimes or running into something you don't really want. It's almost like he has to move ahead, like he's pushing himself as he's swinging his sword around, swinging his lightsaber around. Which isn't really, it's not really the best good design. But again, what do you expect for a game like this? For a lazy game, this actually is still quite fun, actually. I could have said that before, but this actually is a pretty fun game overall if you could overlook its flaws. I've always been good at doing that. I've always been good at overlooking flaws in games. Maybe that's why I like Bubsy 3D so much. I actually find Bubsy 3D to be entertaining. I remember a long time ago when kid was like, whoa, how'd you do that in Bubsy 3D? That game's impossible to control, and yet somehow you picked it up and played it easy. I know, maybe I just have a gift for Bubsy 3D. Not that that's anything worthy of being credited for or something like that. It's his greatest accomplishment. He was good at Bubsy 3D. That'd be kind of sad if the only accomplishment you have on your record is being good at Bubsy 3D. I still might do a Let's Play of that game eventually. It's probably not going to be 100% Let's Play, though. Then again, this isn't really 100% Let's Play either. So I'm not going to be getting all the Death Star plans because they're completely useless. Or maybe it is 100% complete. So you complete an episode, just beat all the levels in the episode, it says 100% complete. So I guess it kind of is a 100% complete run then. The game thinks it's 100% complete, so I guess that means it is 100% complete. It's slowly trekking through the jungle canopy. Look at that thing. Those things are worse than those turrets. It's like a giant, it's like one of those E-Web blasters almost, but it shoots out a huge bolt. You get shot once or twice and you're dead. Good thing I bought some life insurance you could see flying next to me. One of those target things, those target practice droids is my life insurance. Wonder why they chose that design specifically for it. It's struggling to keep up. Must be really slow, because Yoda could walk slow. And look, it's just struggling to keep up. Maybe they put Chewbacca in this level, so you won't have to suffer as Yoda so much by walking so slowly. Then again, most of this stuff is easy to dodge. It's really hard to dodge blasts in this game. And you stand a better chance if you use a lightsaber and swing at them and deflect the shots. And oh look, another Death Star plan. It's the second one we got in this level already. Man, it's such a big level. We already collected 2 Death Star plans all at the same time. There were some levels that were a lot shorter where we collected all of them. It's because their levels were shorter, so they were easier to collect. This is a bigger level, so it's easier to, it's harder to find things because how big this level is. I think that's the end of the level now. Yes, that is the end of the level. Yeah, the most dullest level in the game. The most, sure, a 5-year-old would be having a ball with this. Cool, I get to play as Yoda and kick ass and kill all those bad battle droids. Yeah, if you're like 5 years old, that's pretty fun, but I find it fun too, so I guess I must have the mind of a 5-year-old then. Done well you have, young Jedi. Yeah, you're talking about yourself, Yoda. This is what we're going to be doing next. Obi-Wan's getting himself into a predicament on YouTube, huh? This is Ray Phoenix, signing out.